Hi everyone. Today I wanted to diagram how to learn a language because I absolutely love learning languages. I don't claim to be fluent in any of them, but I can have a decent conversation in some. Uh, and I thought that giving a big picture diagram would maybe help people who are in the process of learning a language now, and it would help show how things all fit together in the end. Everyone's different though, but this is just my process. So, uh, many times when someone starts learning a language, they will get a book or a podcast, perhaps, that whatever it is, it's often structured in the same way, which are taking subject areas and going through them in a series. So, I don't know, you might get a book with 8 to 9 subject areas, and they all delve into a topic like how to introduce yourself, or what your favorite food is, or shopping. And then it might get a little bit more complicated with subjects like traveling, perhaps an office setting, uh, around the house, and even more complicated things like politics or science. Okay, and these subject areas have the same components when you learn the lesson. It's vocabulary. The vocabulary can be nouns, verbs, adjectives, and you kind of memorize them and try to use them as much as you can in that lesson. Again, probably goes from beginner level to more intermediate to more advanced level. Now, how to put all that vocabulary together is grammar that you learn in each subject area. I don't like to think of it as a singular component though, like vocabulary, but grammar is more of a overarching layer, I think, that you continuously learn. It's really the structure behind things. And something you might learn in the beginning, you'll still use that basic structure in more advanced levels. Now, a critical component, of course, is listening and speaking. This is really what sets you apart from other people. You might get vocabulary and grammar great, but you could have a really terrible American accent. I think that trying to be as true to native speakers as possible is really showing some effort and not offensive at all. So really sets you apart, and you at this stage you get to hear what that native language sounds like, which is always really beautiful and exciting. Listening and speaking is quite hard, but again, with practice, people can do it. You go to listening labs, you speak with native speakers as much as possible, or your teacher. But I think, and again, this is like another layer, but I think the thing that gels it all together is something in between a special sauce, I like to call it. And this is really where things like phrasing of the sentences comes together, like cadence, like the rhythm of how you say something. You get to inject some personality into some of your personality into this language that you're learning. So how to make exclamatory statements, expressions, go-to expressions that really spice up your conversation. So again, things like phrasing, rhythm, expressions. And this is also where things like slang, colloquialisms, and regional phrases make it just that much more fun. You really get a sense that you are immersing yourself in the culture and get to understand the differences in the language. I think that this is all, you can kind of see a theme here of the process of learning a language is like a sandwich, a tasty sandwich. And I do think that if you get to go to that country to learn the language or just to immerse yourself in the culture, it will add that much more to your learning experience. So try to cook it up with a trip. It'll force you to learn the language, force you to use the language every single day, use it with native speakers, different kinds of personalities, and you'll really see it in action. Traveling is expensive though, so do it however you can. If you can do it through a study abroad program, that's how I did a lot of my traveling. If you can't do that, technology is amazing these days. There are a lot of apps out there or software programs that allow you to do video chats with native speakers who are also trying to maybe learn English. You can do an exchange. Also on YouTube, you can just look up maybe the soap opera, the most popular soap opera of that country, or find newscasts in that language, which are really helpful. You get to see the person talking, see their lips moving, which is really helpful. Now, again, this special sandwich of learning a language is a good way, at least for me, to grasp the process and doesn't make it as overwhelming. It kind of gives closure to all of it. I think that a great way, almost a litmus test for your development, is that you hit some pretty exciting milestones along the way. Going back to the beginning with sort of the subject areas, I remember the first milestone was really recognizing individual words. Before that, you'll hear someone speak and it'll just all be gibberish. But once you start learning vocabulary, it's so exciting because you start picking up on and identifying specific words in that you are learning. Then the second milestone people tend to hit after you start using words in sentences over and over and over and over again, it really is like building a habit and your mouth muscles getting used to moving in that way, maybe rolling an R in Spanish. You might start speaking without thinking. It's a great feeling not having to translate it in your head from English to that language, but just going straight to that language. So that is very liberating. Finally, with this special sauce that I was talking about, is the third milestone, which is you not only start to pick up phrases, but you can hear a conversation and get the general gist of it without knowing all of the words, perhaps. That's when your learning really gets amped up. So the third one is just getting the gist. Is an incredible feeling. Okay, so that is a summary of how I have in the past learned languages. I hope that it helps you too, and good luck on your journey.